Happy Saturday, everybody. In
Happy
our
Saturday.
we're live now in social media land. Okay, so
I'm so happy to be back. I don't know if they missed us, but I definitely miss them. So I'm glad that we
they
are
better
back.
miss us. Shoot, they better
But
miss
we
us.
need a little break. We need a little break.
Yeah, I mean, we have been doing straight shows for the last 7-8 months every Saturday.
Every Saturday, yeah.
So to all of those who have been following us faithfully, and for we're so excited. Our YouTube subscribers have grown. We really appreciate you, even though you may not always comment. Thank you so much. Thank you, and for everybody listening to all of our podcast platforms. We really do. We don't just say that because we want you to subscribe and follow, because it really lets us know that what we're doing, people are listening, basically.
Yeah.
So, again, so for those who are new to us or just tuning in, I'm Rose. I'm one of your hosts here of Entrepreneur Life. I am the founder of McDonald Bookkeeping Services, and I'm located here in Nevada. Although we are all over the place. I don't know who this other chick is right here, but I'll let her introduce herself.
Yes. And I'm Tamara, owner of SWHR Consulting. We are a HR consulting firm based in Las Vegas as well, but we also service surrounding cities. But I am not in Vegas right now. I'm actually in my hometown in Antigua, and I'm excited to be tuning in, and we're excited about our show today. I'm going to just dive right in. So I know that you guys, we've always had guests, and then we go back to our series. And for the last couple of series, we talked a little bit about, start building a strong foundation was our first series. Second series was really getting legal, so understanding what you need to do to start your business. The third series was getting funded and starting your business. So how can you get that capital, or how do you contribute capital to your business? And now today we're going to talk about marketing your business in 9 simple ways.
Yes, and we do want some people, of course, we want you to chime in. We're going to be talking about really getting back to the basics, because as we all know, this COVID has really affected a lot of businesses. So we hope what we share today that will be helpful to you, or we can also connect you with other businesses and entrepreneurs, but we want to get you out there. So don't be afraid to jump in actually into the live, so we can actually see your comment, because actually if you're not inside of it and jump in and you're just kind of watching, we can't see and include you in the conversation. And if we find that it's something that you can be that you can actually, I guess, help us on, or maybe be a part of the show, we might even link you in. So anyway, so let's get started. Let's talk about, I'm going to bring up for the marketing, what we were talking about. So okay, here we go. And then we're going to jump in on how some of these tools could help you, or how we can connect you with people who can help you within your business.
And remember, a lot of our materials is really to help those companies that are either starting their business from scratch or in the process of starting their business. Okay, so a lot of material might sound very basic, but our audiences are very different. So bear with us, understand that we're just here to educate, and if it applies to you, please take it and apply it to your business. If it doesn't, just listen up, enjoy our show. Spread the word to other people that might need the information. Okay, so do you want to kick it off, or do you want me to kick it off?
I say, well, I know your 8 simple ways of marketing your business, so I'm going to follow along with Miss Shamar from SWHR with getting organized.
Yes. So, when you're starting your business, the first thing that we're looking at is trying to figure out really, how do we even market ourselves? Like, how do we get to those client avatars that we discussed in our previous series? And the best thing to do is really get a plan together, organize your marketing efforts. How are you going to reach them? A lot of times when we start, we're just going to try everything, right? And we're going to see what fits or sticks,
and we have.
Right? And we have. But it's really important to, you know, understand where those target audiences are so that you can really hit home and drive traffic to those people that you really are trying to get to. So that comes with creating some type of plan through brainstorming, understanding themes, even creating some type of to-do list. And we're going to talk some other things as well that you can do just to get started so that you can get your brand out there, because branding is everything. You know, that's how people recognize who you are. They may not recognize your face, but they recognize your brand, your logo, your colors. Those things are what they are looking for when they see SWHR Consulting or McDonald Bookkeeping. So really understanding how to come together with a plan that's going to allow you to get the good ROI that you need within your business.
So think of it like McDonald's or KFC or Walmart. You know what I mean? Even if you haven't been there, you know the brand, and people may not go there every day, but they know it's there when they need to get there, when they want to go there. So the next one, let's talk about
KFC. I was gonna Antigua has the best KFC. So if you guys ever come down to the Caribbean, KFC.
Lord, here we go.
In Antigua, I was so happy to have some KFC. But back on subject. The other thing is, it's the best, I swear. The other thing is creating an elevator pitch, okay? And this is very helpful. This is very, very helpful when you are getting out there, which we'll talk a little bit more about networking. But when you're getting out there, it's really important to be able to formulate what you're going to say, how you're going to introduce yourself, your business, and what you do in a quick 30 seconds. That's all you really have a lot of times in these networking events. And we've been to a million of them. We've had very long pictures, and then we had to shorten it up. So you want to think about your pitch to be no longer than 90 seconds max. But I don't know, Rose, what do you think? Do you think we should do our pitches and see how they go?
Lord, let me tell you, I've done changed my pitch so many times. But let me tell you,
go for it.
But I do sometimes change my pitch on account of the event, the type of networking I'm doing. So I think that's okay. And so, like, for example, if I'm at an event and I am actually looking to, and there's other business owners there that I feel that I can connect with and I can do something for their business. Then of course I'd be like, I'd say, hey, my name is, Rose. I'm the founder of McDonald Bookkeeping Services, and I provide small business owners where they struggle the most with their financial needs. Everything from your accounting and payroll and tax liability. Look me up at www.mcdonald-bookkeeping.com for all the services provided. But if I were to go to an event where it's startup entrepreneurs, people needing information and help because they don't know more direction, or their MLMs, things like that, and they're not really a structured business yet, then I'm going to change my pitch a little bit. And I'd say, hey, my name is Rose. I'm a grandmother of 9. I have 3 adult children. I'm a small business owner. I'm a Redskins fan for life. And I help startup businesses and people who are looking to start in their entrepreneurship. So I've changed it because I'm trying to connect with them personally, because they really haven't engaged in the business just yet. They're starting off. Does that make sense? So that's kind of changes.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely makes complete sense. It really, again, that all goes back to understanding your audience and who you're trying to speak to at these events. So just to give my generic one, hello, my name is Shamara Walker, owner of SWHR Consulting. We are a human resource consulting firm here in Las Vegas. We work with startups and small businesses, helping them to never forget their most valued asset, which is their people. We also help them in understanding compliance within their organization, hiring top talent, along with mitigating within their organization. You can find us at www.swhrconsulting.com, or you can give us a call at 702-979-2119. No one ever remembers the number, but make sure you have your business card or something so that you can leave behind after your pitch. But as you mentioned, just having something quick, easy, says your name, your business, what you do, so that people can easily recognize and connect with you in regards to, how you can potentially help their business.
And then
we did good.
Thank you.
We haven't even did this in so long because we've been stuck in the house, guys. So
Yeah.
I feel like we did really good for, being at home and not being able
Yeah,
to do our
yeah.
pitches. But really having that elevator pitch is so important. And when you do get that client, it's so important to get their feedback early in your business because you don't know everything. You don't know everything in your business right away. It all comes from learning experiences, mistakes that you make, and really taking those mistakes and don't think of them as a defeat. Think of it as, oh my God, I'm learning from this experience. This is allowing me to learn and adjust and grow. So really taking that time to get your customers' feedback early on in your business will help to help you continue to grow because they are your clients. They know what what they need. So getting that feedback is important.
And I think also being able to take constructive criticism. So, and I've learned from clients as well as you should have some business owners that you work with, constituents that can also give you feedback. So I'm going to give you an example because Shamara and I go back and forth, and there's a few of us that go back and forth about our business to help our business. And I'm not throwing somebody out there, but Stephanie with Squad Beauty Professionals, when she got a brick and mortar, she'd be like, so I'm not getting no commission. I'm just saying that because as she was starting, we all went back and forth with different things critiquing. And so Shamara had to tell me something about my website and something I should put or shouldn't put on. And I had to look at it again because you're looking at something from your angle, not another person's perspective.
Right.
And so look at that. So now with this whole COVID things, and even not just COVID, but really kind of re-examining and going back in and asking people but be able to take constructive criticism, not to say you have to agree with it, but constructive criticism to see, could I change something differently in my business? How now the dynamics may have changed. So when Shamara did tell me this, I went back and I was like, oh, okay, well, and I changed it because it was something that was beneficial.
Right. And again, I mean, just to bring up Stephanie, we've definitely again, we're all about educating. We're all about helping each other grow our businesses. And like she said, having constructive criticism is really just taking it in is really good because, again, you might not agree with it, but then you can look and say, man, let me reevaluate. And so we've done that with quite a few people within our circle. And that's why she, brought up Stephanie. And so she was like, oh, yes, thank you so much. And she goes back and make those changes. And again, we're very open to constructive criticism as well. So there's times where, Rose comes to me and say, hey, you need to change this or change that. And I'm like open arms because I'm big on making those changes to make sure that we're getting to where we need to be. So you want to make a good impression. So that's the final thing that I want to say when it comes to that, because your impression is everything. So let's talk about your website. So
that's your website.
So your website is, ultimately the foundation, I would say, for when people want to start working with you. And a lot of people, they're like, man, I don't think I need a website. But when you go to networking events, that's the first thing people go and do is Google you, or they go and look to see where you're at. So it's so important to really establish a web presence. And it doesn't have to be all fancy when you start. It's okay. It's okay. Get something out there. Get your SEO going so that there is something that's being pulled in Google, and you're able to be visible and seen. So just getting a website on the, on the web is so important. And again, it can just be a landing page for now until you decide, okay, I can grow and add additional pages. So that's a good way for you to really get the visibility that you want. Because again, everybody's on Google nowadays.
So, and let me just add to that as far as websites. So when I initially started, I'm a service-based business as well as Shamara. And so you would think that we aren't tangible. But what I've learned is to save myself time and money, because obviously I look at the end of money, costs, what the bottom line is, and how Shamara and I connect together is because Shamara looks at that total when it comes to labor as well. And so when I initially started, you would think a service-related business doesn't have to have e-commerce or tangible. I looked at my time and labor and the people who assist me in time and labor and thought, how can I save time and money? So I often find that businesses, and a lot of you see this, they'll use Facebook to sell things, Instagram to sell things, and those are great. That's great. But how is it working when it comes to you're having to put the orders together physically, get the product together, get the agreement together, get a contract together? That all costs time and labor. So if you were to visit my website, you would think because I'm a service-related based industry, I actually have what you can purchase, and I have the agreements and the contracts that you signed right in it. With a subscription, now it just saves me time because they've already paid through my site for the subscription. They've already signed the agreement for the subscription. And now all I have to do is set it up rather than having to create the agreement, create the contract, contact the consumer or the client. It's all done for me. So when you do a website, make sure the website is streamlined and conducive, and just really kind of, when people start contacting you through the website or social media, look at what they're asking, look at what they're wanting. And that's going to help you determine how you need to move forward with your website. So I'm only bringing up Stephanie again. We're not selling nothing for Stephanie, because we remember when she transitioned from her photography, which she still does photography, Lifey then, but now she has her own, she's all fancified in her brick and mortar, Scar Beauty Professionals. But she went and now she has products. And this was, let me tell you, she did this before this whole COVID thing started, right? But she wasn't really pushing it as much, I noticed.
Right.
And so if she had not have had the products on her site and didn't start that beauty and facials in a bag, then she could have been at a standstill. And so not only does she do the lashes, the facial, but she also has the product. So it didn't really stop her because people can go and order. And so just consider those things when you have your website and your business. You can always re-strategize.
Right. Right. No, so true. I was inspired by Rose in terms of adding an e-commerce to my website as well, because there's things that I can create for someone right away in template format that you can easily, purchase in terms of policies and handbooks and things like that. And so, you can go through the website, purchase it, then we can work in the back end to make it how you need it to be. So having some type of, and we'll talk about this a little bit too, Rose, in terms of residual income, those are things that people can easily, quickly go purchase and get their product, and not necessarily have to wait on us and to really service them. So kind of thinking of those things, especially now, as you guys see, we are not in a time where we can go into anybody's office and sell our product or our service. So everything is becoming more web-based, more technology focused. So really, refining and thinking, how can you sell your product now in a more e-commerce space? Product or service in the e-commerce.
So then that takes us into, we went into getting the organized and to getting a website, but that goes into leveraging your social media and how you utilize that. Where are you leading people to? So are you having different types of stuff on different social media, and they're all being led to a different social media rather than trying to get them all to fluctuate to your website? So I've seen often where it's like there's one thing on Instagram or one thing on Twitter or something on Facebook. But remember, it moves so fast. Social media moves so fast. If you miss it, you lose business because there's so many millions of people. So I can post something now and I'll be lucky if I have 5,000 people on my social media, on my friends list, or I have 10,000 or whatever, on my Instagram. What is that percentage that's actually going to see them? Let's be realistic, because it's moving and it's moving. They probably got 10,000 people on their list and they've got 10,000 people on their list. So if you just assume that they're going to instant message you, your percentages are low. I mean, it really is being realistic. So where are you leading them? Trying to lead them into one platform. So I've learned, I lead everyone to my website, because at some point in time, everybody's on that list at some point in time is going to see my post, my ad. And where I want them to go is to remember my website, which is what? Your brand. Back to your brand.
Back to your brand. Yeah. Yeah. Utilizing social media is really, again, just to market yourself, but leading them back to something. Is not just to
Yeah.
lead them there and they just look, okay. Okay. No, have
Yeah.
something, have your website link available so that they can get back to your website and see what type of
Yeah.
services that you offer. And it's so important to be on all platforms,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that you maximize your visibility. And again, I know that, in certain industries, not all social media platforms will work for your industry, but really this is where that comes into understanding where your audience is so that you can focus your energies on the social media platforms that work for you. So for me, I have an Instagram account and it can work for me, same with Rose. But I
Mm-hmm.
would think more Facebook and LinkedIn is more better for our type of businesses
Yeah.
because we
Correct.
work in more of a professional setting, in terms of services, in terms of the types of clients that we're trying to get. Business owners, yes, are on Instagram, but it's not necessarily the business owner that's on Instagram. Is maybe their, one of their employees or their marketing person that's marketing the business there. So you'll see those types of business owners more on the LinkedIn profiles than on Instagram. So just really, again, understanding where to look for your target audience so that you can do your social media that way. That leads us
Sometimes
into
it's trial and error.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes
really
it is.
It really is. And I, have a great story about my social media. So when I first started,
Woo!
yeah, when I first
You got
started,
some stories.
I know when I first started on my social media, I was definitely building up, my followers, but I was getting the wrong type of followers. Okay, my followers were coming from Nigeria, China, every place else but Las Vegas. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong? These people are not my target audience. I'm not going to get them
Well,
to buy my product.
let me
So
just
I
first say
recently,
this though to ladies out there, because she just said this, because you know what I'm talking about. When you get the ones, and I have nothing against people from Nigeria or wherever the hell they are, but they all start off with my blessed, loved, my loved, whatever. And I'm like, for real though? You know what I'm saying? I could
yeah.
put a picture of a cow holding a bag of nuts, and it's like, beautiful, my love. And I'm like, where the hell are they coming from? I just had to say that
We
because
both had quite
Lord,
a few stalkers from some other countries, and I'm like, you're not buying this product, so please get off of my page. But but it's so true. It's so much trial and error. You don't know. If you're not a social media person, which I'm not, I don't like it at all, but I know that it's important. And so I just partnered myself with a company called Out and About, and they've been really great in refining and cleaning up and getting me refocused on the target audience, which is in the Las Vegas and surrounding area. So they've been doing a really great job in helping me get those organic followers and not bot followers on my website. So that's really been great in helping with the exposure. But we also on here, we have a challenge. So if you're new to social media and you really don't know what to post and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing here, having some type of maybe 30-day social media challenge will kind of help, right? So as you can see on this screen, if you're watching, you can day one can be you introduce your business, talk about your business, what your business is all about. Day 2 or 3 and 4 can be, what do you admire about your industry? What are some of your favorite products or services that you sell to your clients? And just kind of maybe using this as a way to help guide you get a start on your social media. And then as you develop and you get comfortable, you can create however content or whatever you're trying to do. But we just thought that this would be a good way to at least get you started, so that you can get comfortable with social media.
And if you need it, you guys, just make sure that you put something in the comment and we will send this to you. And this is an all famous lieu of somebody we're talking about who actually put this kind of together.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So anyway, go ahead and you guys comment in and we will give you everything that we have right here so we can send it to you that we're going over. And this is a 30-day challenge for the social media.
Perfect. Number 4.
Number 4.
So This is really like claiming your business. So as you get more on like Google and getting that exposure of your business on your website, there's going to be a lot of what do you call them? Oh, I can't figure out the name.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I have my Google business up, and I get 60% of my business through
Me
Google.
too.
And
Same
I
here.
actually don't pay for AdWords, but I do, and it's because of my continual posting. So anyway,
So
the majority of
now
my
I
business.
remember local, like listing, getting your business on listings is what I was
Yes,
trying to get.
yes.
Yeah. So as your companies start to gain that presence on websites, a lot of different listings are going to start pulling in your information on their listing site. So once they do that, you want to make sure that you go onto there and actually fill out your profile and fill out the information so people can get to know you and figure out as well as how to get in contact with you. So that's what that means in terms of claiming your business online, is because they're going to do it for you in terms of getting you out there, but you need to claim that business so that they know that it's your business, and it links back to your website again, because that's the whole point, is getting that
And not
exposure
just Google.
and bringing them back.
Remember, there's Bing, there's Manta, there's
So many.
Yellow Page, Super Page, there's Microsoft took over Bing. Oh my gosh,
There's so many listings, so many
claim
different
that you don't
listings.
even realize how many there are to claim, and then just how they come up in the search. Some people just think it's just be on Google, but there's so many to claim that gives you a better presence. And now
Right.
there's something that everybody has done. Right now, if you were to go on your computer and say Chinese food, and the first thing you start typing, if you put in Chinese food, or if you put in, I don't know, Red Sox or shoes, it says shoes. And if you put in like shoe store, it says near me. That's the first thing that you start seeing in that field.
Right.
And because what that does is, it's going to give you this little map of all of the places near you, your business, that sells that product or sells food. And you've all seen this. You see those little red little like balloons, and that's you in there if you claim your
business. That's if you claim your business. I worked with a company called triballocal.com, and they definitely helped with that as well. So if you wanted to maybe hire a third party to help you go out and claim your businesses, Tribal Local is a good company that can help you with that as well. That lead us into Google AdWords. So still learning this, but this is something that that is a good way to get your business out there and target and get to your target audience as well. But you have to really learn how to do this, because just like social media, it's the same thing. It's the same type of concept, and knowing who to focus in and potentially capture as a client. So I can't really speak much on it because I'm still learning it, and I have someone kind of working in the background with that. But it's again,
me too. Okay.
it's a good way to kind of get your business out there in Google.
So my question to you guys is, to anybody who is listening right now, your business being what it is right now, and this current whole COVID situation, wherever you are, has this changed your mindset or your strategy as to when we reopen, or even if we haven't, let's just say we don't reopen for another 30, 40 days, right, whatever. Has this current situation changed how you are going to move forward, market your business, strategize your business, or change the way you do business, as in, maybe I'm going to be in a different total line of business now because this was something you didn't anticipate, or stay in the same line of business, but just change your strategy? Because now I'm sure that, for me, if we hadn't always been remarketing and rebranding ourselves and always thinking of how to grow our business and develop our business, not just locally, but in other states and nationally, I think that my business wouldn't still be going, because I hadn't thought about that ahead of time. So I just want to know that from people who are listening. I I have that question. What are they thinking? What are their changes? What are they thinking about doing? So you can easily jump in and comment in the room, and or send us a message, because we want to be able to connect you with people. And or even if you're just struggling and you want to get your business out there to get a bit more visibility, please let us know. We don't have a problem with helping you out and marketing you. We've been doing really, really well. We like entrepreneurs and businesses. We want to share and help market them, because we understand the struggle. So that's just my question. Anyway.
No, I mean, it's a very good question. I think both myself and you have been like, okay, let me brainstorm on some new ideas. How are we going to do this? For me, my business is, it's so much on-site, right? It's having a consultant on-site to work with the clients directly. So now I have to shift, right, a little bit more in the virtual. It's something that we offer, yes, but it's now, how do I now create the systems and the processes to allow for us to be compliant and work with these clients in a more virtual setting, now that everyone's not in an office and we're not there to look at people and watch them and things like that. So I've been also very much brainstorming and coming up with different ideas and how to reach those types of businesses during this time. So yeah, really thinking about that is really important, especially now.
And I think what has helped me in my business is, for those who know me, I offer a lot of free services. And some people think, oh, you're going to lose all this. And my assistant sometimes says I do a little bit too much. But I think that when you offer something and become tangible, that you need to give something. Right. And so not everything should be for sale. That's just my impression. I know you might think that's not a way of making money, but to really engage and to not always, this is what I hate. I hate it when you put a post up or something, say I'm looking for something, and someone just inboxes you, or they just add you to their friend list and then they inbox you and are ready to sell. Not a good look. It really isn't. And you haven't even grown a relationship, or the person got to know you or see what you do. They don't even know your brand, and you're right now inboxing them and trying to sell them a product or get on their team. So if you do that to me, just know that I'd never buy from you.
Always. She's like, oh, gonna reject this person. But again, it's strategic in your approach, right? That can be a good way to introduce potential clients to your business, because you gave them either a free ebook on how to, do's and don'ts of accounting or something, or do's and don'ts in HR, and that intrigues them, right? And they're like, man, I want to learn more. And then you give them a little bit more, whatever that your strategy is to kind of reel in your clients. It's just think about those things during this time, and I think that's a good idea to kind of be able to get some clients in the door.
Okay, so let's go with number 6. Create your local awareness. Is that what it? Okay.
Yep.
Are you gonna do it? You do it.
I'm gonna do it. So create local awareness and establish a network. This is so important, especially when you are just starting out in your business. If you're a startup and you are trying to get the word out there, because people, especially in Vegas, because that's where we know and where we operate, they don't trust people. Okay, they do not trust people at all. So if you think that you're just going to come into Vegas and just start a business and everybody's just going to love you and come to you, I just don't see that happening like that. You have to gain that trust. They have to get to know you in the community. So by joining like chambers, doing being a part of some business associations, community groups, those type of things help to get that exposure for them to get to know your business, so that they can trust you and get to know you. So for me, I think when we first started, I literally was on the road like every single day, marketing the business for a whole year straight, just to get the word, get them to trust me, because I was new. I haven't been in Vegas for a long time. I moved my business from Texas when I was just starting up, getting a little taste, and then was like, okay, let me do this in Vegas. And so it wasn't an easy fit for me because they don't know who I am. So it was really just getting out there, getting part of those chambers, establishing those relationships, and then let people talk about you. This is really about them talking about you and starting to refer business to you. So networking is a very, very good way of getting some business leads. But what I will say about this in terms of networking, and I know, Rose, you're going to agree, do not go out there and gather these leads and just quickly put them in a mailing list, because people get annoyed by you just adding them in a mailing list without asking them first, right? And then are they even your audience? You know, it was just maybe you met this person and that was it. And that's all it needed to be. And I learned my lesson. I'm speaking from experience here. Just creating a list and adding these people into it. And then you're like, man, why are all these people unsubscribing? Because they didn't tell you to add them on your list.
And then they don't even know what you're selling or why.
And what you're selling. So be strategic in that. You know, even when if you do find a really good lead through networking, ask their permission first. Hey, I do have a mailing list. Would you be open to me adding you on it? You know, something. Spark that conversation when you see them face to face, and you establish some type of relationship before just adding them onto your list and they have no clue who you are.
That's a turn off. I mean, that's a turn off for me. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. Somebody emailed me on some men's hair stuff. And so like for balding or something. And I'm just like, whoa, one, I don't even got a husband. But so I'm like, they obviously weren't paying attention to their client avatar. Right. So anyway, but yeah, that's a turn off. So anyway, yeah, get that permission would be really, really great, very helpful. Very helpful. Yeah. Well, let's go to I think we talked about number 7, which is kind of like the free service thing or whatever, offering something. So for me, I mean, I just can't sell everything on my amazingness and my looks. I know that.
You're beautiful, lady. You're beautiful.
I've come to that realization. So I had to offer a little bit of something, and I mean, something like, you know, some kind of offering for free. And so usually I have I'll do like a video tutorial, or I'm like, people know me, oh, just call me and I'll help them through. I'm not going to give you all the eggs in the basket, but I'm going to give you something to start with. So consider what that little coupon is or what you're offering. Just gives them a little taste of something, you know, water the seed, you know. I mean, I know a lot of you like me, like, oh, I just want to buy from Rose because she's so amazing and glamorous. But I know some of you just like, you know, you don't. It's okay. I still love you anyway.
But it does work. I mean, I've seen it in action. Okay, when I'm like around Rose, and you know, she's a prospect, you know, kind of calls her, and so she's like, "Let me just show you this. Let me just give you a little taste. Let me just give you a little taste of this or that." And then, you know, and then okay, man, this is good. She gave me a lot of good content, right? And she just feeds them. And then after a while, because, you know, but the biggest thing I think with Rose, just from being around her is she really does want you to know, like she wants to educate you. So the purpose of her showing you something for free is to really get you understanding what you know, how to manage your money in your business. She wants you to truly understand what you're doing so that when you do decide, okay, thank you for showing me all this, but I really don't want to learn this on my own anymore, and I don't want to do it. You at least have the knowledge to say, okay, if you put this in this bucket, I know that that's not what you showed me initially. It should be in this bucket, right? So when you transition into using her service, you have such a, you know, you're coming into her service with such a knowledge that you know how things are supposed to work in the back end in terms of where things are supposed to be in your accounting principle. That's all her world. But you know, it really does. It really is helpful. So, so creating that buzz, being your own brand ambassador, creating some type of loyalty early on. Just as she mentioned, it really does help to get people to buy in. So, yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about the database.
Yes. Yeah. So, because we talked about advertising already, you know, and yeah, it should be 9 things. Why do I have 8 on here? My bad, guys.
Because I deal with the numbers. She don't deal with the numbers. So she, I sound like I'm from New Jersey or something. You can't count.
She deals with the numbers. Yes, it's 9 simple ways, not 8, guys, but a database, right? So that kind of goes back to, you know, when you do go out there and you do network, have somewhere to store these people information, whether it's in a MailChimp account or you create an Excel spreadsheet, whatever you do, you know, to collect their information, collect it, and then do your research to see if they really are a potential, you know, prospect. And then after you ask permission, then market to them. However, that marketing can be by giving them either a free service or you know, a how-to guide, something to kind of capture their attention. Give them a call, whatever you need to do to gain some type of rapport with them, so that you can. I mean. And this is the thing about marketing, it's such not a one and done thing. And I wish it was. Why can't it just be a one and done? I talk to you, bye for
kind of like a one night stand, but they keep coming back for more. At least for me anyway, when I was younger.
But it's like, you know, that's the thing about marketing. It's not a one and done thing. You have to consistently do it. You have to keep doing it. And I think that's a lesson that we, you know, myself and, you know, Rose have learned is that, and you have to switch it up and you have to go with the times and you have to figure out how you're going to, you know, keep yourself relevant, keep your brand going. So again, it is really, you know, all about getting yourself out there, creating that awareness, and being strategic in your approach. So really, I don't know, Rose, what else you got? Because that's all I got.
Remember, we're going to give you this. If you want this, you just have to go into our live and comment. You want this, you want all this information. You want the 30-day strategy. You want, you know, all the tips. We'll give it to you. You don't got to sign up for something or anything to get it. So that being said, now that we're kind of giving you that and we've kind of opened up this store, you know, we want to know what you guys think about this whole current situation with the whole COVID, how it's really affecting you and your business, or if you're going to change your strategy. So, you know, we'll give a little bit each about our business, and then, you know, but we want to learn about yours. It's not really necessarily talking about our business. It's us connecting you with people and resources. So if you've ever seen any of our lives, go to our YouTube channel, go to our Entrepreneur Live page, see all of our past guests and shows. We're really here for entrepreneurs, and as well as we will bring on other guests. We have some great guests coming up, some local people who are running for specific offices. So we're going to be getting them out there also here in Nevada. So let's go to my business. So how I was fortunate where this didn't really affect my business that much. So because I just said I'm a service-based business, you know, I'm a QuickBooks Pro advisor. I was able to set up my subscriptions online. And I also set up a recurring subscription where people can, you know, just pay a small fee and we just kind of help them along the way. They do the books, but we help them along the way. But it's a residual subscription. And it was something that I started last year because one of my girls were like, oh, you know, and I can do videos and people can kind of do it yourself. You can go right into my website and get a video on how to do something. And so it was very helpful for me. So it didn't necessarily affect my business too much, but I ended up actually hiring 2 people. Right. So that's when I said kind of reorganizing and looking at your business structure and how you can change it and maybe take this whole COVID thing as not a blessing. That's a strong word to use, but
no,
you know,
it was a reevaluation stage. Yeah, that's where you know, take this time to, like she mentioned, to go back and look at everything that you've been doing in your business operations and seeing how you can adjust, make it better. I think this is an opportunity to really slow down and really reevaluate. And just kind of talking about my business. And when it comes to HR, for one, I'm affordable. But at the same time, people don't like to spend money in HR like that because they feel like they can do it themselves. That's the reality of it. So with my, you know, my business definitely took a little bit of a different turn. So I had to also become very creative. You know, as I mentioned before, you know, with my type of service, it's one of those last minute resort type of service, right? They don't think of HR as something that you need in your business initially, which you do. They think of it, oh man, I'm in trouble. I need to fire somebody, or someone's suing me. So I need HR and I need that support to help guide me through it, right?
And if
so
people didn't
during this
need it,
time,
there wouldn't be a whole labor division if people didn't need it. But anyway.
right. But his own. But for me, I had to reevaluate to say, okay, now I can't with my type of prospects, I can't physically go into any offices anymore, right? Because no one's in offices, right? So now I need to think about what's actually happening right now in the current climate. And this might sound negative, guys. I don't mean to sound negative, but companies are laying people off, right? They're laying people off. There's a lot of unemployment claims and things that are going on right now. So that's my target. That's what I'm, going after, is those clients that are in that phase where, okay, this is economically challenging for them and they have to do staff reduction. And what is the appropriate way to do that? And the most legal
I'm so sorry. If you guys hear my phone, that's so ghetto. Sorry.
You're fine. So for me, that's what I'm marketing now. How can I help you be compliant in how you lay off your people and being strategic and understanding what furlough is, what layoff is, what termination is? How do they, how do you handle the unemployment claims that are coming in now, right? If you haven't done it before, don't understand the process, how do you handle that? What's the best way to do it? What types of information do you need to provide in order to help these people get their unemployment, or not get it if they quit, right? So it's just being understanding right now what I needed to do to help enhance my business and who my new target audience is, because mine was all about fluff and culture and all of that, and being compliant and onboarding new people and recruiting people to your team. That's where my focus was in my business. So now it's a different transition to now, okay, you're laying people off. How can I help you lay these people off? I know it's sad, but that's what I would have to do. And how do we respond to these unemployment claims so people are getting paid? So that's the positive twist in making sure that they're good to go until we're able to get back to a place where we can get people back on in offices and working again. So again, these are just some of our ways of thinking about how we can kind of sell our business during this economic hardship.
And you also want to consider, for you business owners, when you are back in business, whether and not just say it because of what happens coming back in business from COVID, how do you bring back those people who were either furloughed or on unemployment? Now, remember, furlough and unemployment are two different things, two different types of layoffs, and people aren't understanding that. But two, how do you bring them back? Meaning, are there any requirements to bring them back at the same rate of pay? Are you going to bring them back at a lesser rate of pay because you have to recover revenue and you have a loss? There are actually there's a do's and don'ts depending on how you laid them off to how you bring them back.
And how you bring. I just had a past client that reached out to me yesterday and was asking me, is like, so we, when we let someone go, we let them go. So first of all, I asked them, so did you furlough them? Did you lay them off? Did you terminate them? Couldn't really get the answer, right? Mm-hmm. And so they reached out to the employees because they're, they are an essential company. They're a restaurant. So they want to get back into business and start selling some more food again. And the question was like, well, I reached out to these employees and I asked them to come back, and they say, no, I don't want to come back. I just want to stay on unemployment because I'm making more money on unemployment versus coming back and getting minimum wage and making more money. So then it goes back to, how did you lay them off? Like what did you do? What was the procedure? What was the documentation that you used when you did, do this type of layoff? Because that's what's you're going to use to take to unemployment and say, hey, I offered these people their job back and they're telling me no, but here's the documentation of what we discussed or what we agreed upon with these employees. What can we do? Right? You can't leave these things to chance. You have to have proper documentation so that you are in a more strategic approach when bringing them back on how you're going to do that. You just can't lay people off and be like, okay, I laid you off and here you go. How did you manage it? How did you handle it? It's very important.
And as well as some people aren't aware that you can lay somebody off from a position And then you think, well, okay, let's say you laid somebody off and they were making, when they were your employee at the time, let's say example, $13 an hour. And now you find, well, geez, I can't afford what my payroll was, because
Right.
I've lost business, I've lost revenue. So bringing them back, you're like, okay, do I have to bring them back at the same rate of pay?
Right.
And I have seen this happen. And I have seen a big conglomerate get sued, if people remember Circuit City. And so this was years ago,
yes.
in my 20s, even though I know I look like I'm still in my 20s, but I remember them laying people off and then rehiring and bringing them back at a lesser wage. And they could not do that. And so then what they would do, because it was the same position, they would just kind of title it a different position, but it was the same exact job. It was the same exact task. So, or do you say, well, I'm not going to bring them back, so I don't have to worry about that. I will just hire new people. But you're bringing new people back at the same exact position and the same exact title. So there is a way you really have to understand when you lay off and you bring people back.
Yep. What is the right way? This was good. This is a good one. But again, that's why we're here as a resource, right? From Rose's perspective, and it comes to the payroll aspect, from my perspective, when it comes to the HR, and we really, really work together, in terms of how to help you guys manage this process, and what's the best and compliant and legal way to do this, because it is there is a right way, guys. So if you don't know, please reach out to us. We can answer any questions. We can provide you with guidance. We can be that support for you during this time.
So if you are a business that just needs a connection for something, and maybe you just like, I need to know, how can I get people back into my restaurant, or how do I get people back into buy my product, because you're a retail store, because we already know that people are still going to get back out there and still be a little nervous and uncomfortable. Are people still going to need to be protecting themselves and health conscious? Because even though, let's just say we opened up tomorrow, I can honestly say I am not fully secure that everything is still okay out there. People still aren't carrying it. So what can you do? Think about that right now. What can you do when it reopened, just even not now, to make people feel secure coming back into my place of business? And not just say, okay, we're open and we're back in business again. Because I know I'm looking at that.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's, also a part of it in terms of how you bring them back. Because again, people are, I don't blame anybody saying, I'm just going to stay on unemployment, and because I'm uncomfortable too. And I need to, I have to stay safe for my family and things like that. So exactly like she said, what is your contingency plan? What kind of policies, what type of procedure, what are you going to do internally to when you're bringing people back so that they feel comfortable? Are you going to have one day in, one day out? Are you going to spread your offices up a little bit more so that people are not in close proximity with each other? What is your plan when you do bring them back?
And what is the liability? I'm not an insurance person. I'm not, and I'm not an HR person. I know some things, I could talk a whole lot about it, but I really can't. I don't do it. I can't do it. But what is the liability if someone, when we are open back up again, and then everybody's back in one place, whether it's a consumer going to your store and you find an employee maybe is ill or sick, or just in anything, okay? Or any type of illness or sickness, or you're back in productivity, and you have your employees coming back in, or new employees, and then somebody gets sick. I mean, so it's like, what is the liability because you didn't do your due diligence or take the extra step to say, okay, now that we're back in business, how am I going to handle this differently? Because I don't want to find out that someone came into my office or came into my restaurant and it can be tracked back to here. Am I going to have any kind of liability to that?
Yeah. That's a very, very good point. Yep.
So that's where you probably want to get a hold of anybody when it comes to your insurance and how your insurance plays a part in that, or your workers' comp insurance, your business insurance, your liability insurance, that kind of thing. I'm just throwing that out there. Now, because I'm all virtual, I hardly ever see clients, hardly ever. And it's very few that I see. It's usually the ones that have a lot of money that I have to go and see them physically. And so now when I go on site, how am I going to see those clients?
Right.
So that changes my perspective. So for any of you, what kind of business are you in? I see many of you are there watching, but haven't jumped in the room so I can see. But what business are you in that you are struggling with that maybe we can direct you? What questions do you have? Even if you might have some questions on the marketing strategies that we put up on the screen, I can put them back up again. On your 30-day marketing challenge, we will give you that. We will give you all the steps that you need, as well as if you just have some questions and you want to ask us, jump into the room and ask us. We don't have a problem. Maybe there's somebody you want us to connect you with. You
Right.
just might have, you might want to hire your new first employee or whatever it is, or just have an accounting question. Don't hesitate to ask either one of us. We're here to help you.
Yeah. Please reach out. We're here to help.
We're here to help. And so, so now let's tell you, we were going to tell you guys a few things about some of the struggles that we have had in growing our startup and our business, which are common mistakes. So I'll start with me. And so when I initially started, I've been in the accounting industry for many, many years. I'm 30. So
is it dirty 30? Okay, great.
So I was fortunate enough to where first let me tell you this funny story. Okay, because me being in the accounting industry was totally by accident. So my thing is I wanted to be a designer. I wanted to have a clothing line. And so because I'm a girl all about fashion, right? So at least I thought I was until I hired a personal stylist. But anyway, so I was going to school, went to FITM, I didn't finish getting my degree for fashion merchandising and design. And I was doing my thing and had kids early, I was like a little, a little hot thing, doing my thing. So I got married early, got divorced early, had kids early, all of that stuff. So I ended up having to leave school. And so because I'm a mother, so I started, my mom is in the accounting industry. This is the funny part. My mom is in the accounting industry. And she was like, if you are going to open up a business, you want to do all this stuff, you want to understand real estate, you want to understand accounting, all this other stuff, right? And I don't listen to my mom, but I wanted to live there without hearing her bull. I have a very mom and I didn't want to hear her mouth. So if you have an Asian parent, you know what I'm talking about, an Asian mother. So that being said, I'd taken some night classes, some accounting classes in night school while I was in high school. And my funny ass thought, oh, I can get a job doing accounting because I took a couple of classes. You know what I'm saying? So there was an ad that read in the newspaper and it was for data entry. Now, I'm
newspaper life. Did you hear how she's 30? It was applying for jobs in newspapers.
Y'all, not like on the internet. That's how old I am. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about when you had to go through the newspaper and drive all around town to go to addresses and actually read a map. So what I do is it said data entry. So back in my day, bookkeeping's data entry, right? And so I go in and one of the largest construction companies. I didn't even know this, okay? And I'm like, looking on my cuteness cell, and yeah, I was like easy to look at, so I got the job. I'm thinking it's data entry, like 10 key. So I go in, they introduce me, they tell me, oh, here's your office. And I'm like, damn, I got an office. I got my own phone. I'm feeling like the shit, okay? And so they sit me down. This is one of the hardest softwares to know, right? I don't know nothing. I just went and took some classes at night school to get my mom to shut up, all right? So wasn't even paying attention for real. So they give me an office. No, and so they're like, well, can you give us we need an accounts receivable statement and we need a balance sheet. And I'm like to myself, I say, what the fuck is they talking about? I just took classes to get my mom to shut up, right? So this is when they had brick phones, y'all. That's how old I am. This is a true story. This is when they had brick phones. So I go and excuse myself to go to the bathroom, and I get on the phone and I call my mom, and she's at work, right? My mom was an accountant, worked at Cal Poly. I'm like, what is AR? They're asking me an AR report. And so I didn't know what the hell was they was talking about. So my mom was like, bring everything home, bring all the books home. So this is called Mass 90, Mass 200 software, which is a very expensive, very hard software to learn. So I took it all, and when what they say, fake it until you make it. I
Right.
faked it for a long time on a brick phone. I was calling. I was looking at everything. Right then, I really seriously had to take classes seriously now. So I'm like, damn, because I didn't want to lose this job. It was my first good paying job in an office. Had my own office. I felt special as hell, y'all. So this is how I ended up in this industry and ended up taking classes, because back then they will pay for your classes, right? Like if you take a course. I didn't know I was with them for many, many, many years, but that's how I ended up doing this job, all by freaking accident. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
I can't top that. And we ran out of time anyway, so good.
But I can't fake it no more. I had to learn this time. Let me tell you. True story. Really, really happened.
But thank you guys so much. As you know, we're super silly, but we know we want to make sure that you guys got the information that you needed. Here are funny stories and our real life stories that we just love to share. And we're so thankful that you guys are continuing to follow us, subscribe to us, and getting to know us and our personalities a lot more, because as you can see, we're fun. But as Rose mentioned, you can reach out to us at any time if you have any questions. We really do want to hear from you in terms of what your challenges are, what are some of the things that you may need some assistance with, how we can connect you with other people. And let's just let's make it happen. Let's survive through this, guys. We got this.
Yeah. Essential business, we need you, because look at my gray hair. Let me tell you what I got on here right now. I just like sure. I have my makeup on my hair. I'm like, this is like, it ain't working.
I know. Look at my eyebrows. They're
horrible.
My mustache is growing back. Like, I just can't do this in life. I have no nails on my nails, guys. Like, this is not working for me. We need to stay and listen to the government and the president or whoever and do the social distancing thing so that we can get it. I know. Get this over with so that we can get back to normal, guys. So that at least we can come outside and get some things done.
Because I am straight with my age.
I know. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday.
Yeah, we're checking out. Peace. Right here. Okay.
We're still on.